The thickness,
just go down
the thickness
half
of pound coin.
thickness of pound coin, Tony.
Now keep your feet still.
Keep your feet still, Tony.
It's important.
It's important that we make sure the clutch isn't too far up, because that will obviously, while the handbrake's on, that will stall the car. If you bring the clutch up too much.
Well, the consequence of having the clutch too high is when I let the handbrake go is that I'm going to be shooting over there towards those.
Yep.
I think they're called oak trees, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you're going to be needing a new car tomorrow, aren't you?
Yep, I will.
And the second consequence is that.
And the consequence of having the clutch too low is you won't find the biting point.
Well, it won't go anywhere, will it?
And we won't go anywhere.
And it could even go backwards, yeah?
Yeah, and if we were on an incline, it would go backwards. Okay, so keep
Right,
your feet still.
That's the problem. That's the P.
Yep. Okay, we're now
so just put your hand on the handbrake, and the O is the observation.
Okay,
yeah?
so just keep your hand on the handbrake and your right hand on the steering wheel. Okay, we're just going to check the interior mirror, Tony. Is there anybody coming?
No, I can't see anybody.
Okay, need to make sure we check that.
Yeah.
The consequences of not checking that would be that we won't know what's behind us as we're pulling off.
Yeah.
If there was anybody coming, we would obviously not start our observations until that car has gone past us and it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
We're just going to check the left mirror here, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anybody coming? Any pedestrians or cyclists?
No.
No, towards us? No? Okay. Once again, it's important we check that mirror, Tony, because if we didn't and there
I remember now, yeah, if the cyclists might come down the pavement and shoot in front of me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, excellent. We just check that right mirror.
Yeah.
Tony, anybody coming?
Anybody overtaking me?
Or anybody overtaking you? Okay, so it's important we check that because we don't want to pull away while someone's overtaking us. And if I just get you to check the blind spot, Tony.
Yeah, just tell me where the blind spot is, and I probably will check it now because you have actually told me the reasons why the last time.
Okay, tell you where it is.
Look
okay, Tony, so look between the head restraint and the pillar there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, nobody there.
Nobody there, excellent. Just check the interior mirror for me, Tony.
Yeah, release the handbrake.
Okay, release the handbrake, Tony.
Yeah,
keep your feet still. Steer towards you, Tony. Keep your feet still. And that's enough, Tony. Steer towards me, Tony. Keep your feet still. And straighten up, Tony. Keep your feet still. Okay, we're now going to check our interior mirror for anyone coming behind.
There.
Check our left mirror to see if anyone's there in our view.
No.
Okay, we'll just keep your feet still. Looking ahead, Tony. We're just going to pop.
Do we need a signal?
Do we need a signal, Tony?
This car. Oh yeah, I've got white van behind me now.
Yeah, excellent. So
we're going to pop a left-hand signal on.
Pop the signal on after
so he knows we're pulling over.
We're just going to cover the brake, Tony.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, and not press it until I say so. Okay, and steer towards me, Tony.
Yeah.
Keep your feet still and straight towards you, Tony. Keep your feet still and straighten up, Tony. Okay, and just press brake down gradually.
Clutch down.
Clutch down, Tony.
And brake the thickness of
brake
pound
the
coin.
thickness of pound coin.
Thickness of pound
thickness
coin.
Of pound coin.
And off thickness
and
of pound
off
coin.
thickness of
Keep
pound
your feet
coin.
still.
Keep your feet still, Tony.
Put the handbrake on.
Put the handbrake on.
Keep your feet still.
Keep your feet
I'm
still.
going to get really excited now. This is my first lesson.
Select neutral gear. Keep your feet still. Or release, not now.
Yeah.
And release the clutch, Tony.
Yeah, so don't forget, that's the bit where, I mean, this is very similar to teaching a real learner, yeah?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. They're going to get very excited once the car stops moving.
Yeah, they'll probably just...
Their limbs are going to relax, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure that we're not parked up anywhere where we shouldn't be, Tony.
All right.
Excellent.
Yeah, come on, give us a bit more detail than that, yeah?
As I mentioned earlier, obviously the curb's not lowered there, so we're fine, and it's not a bus stop or double yellow lines, and we're the correct distance away from the curb as well.
All right, yeah.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, how do I check that distance from the curb?
And just use your reference point there, Tony.
Exactly the same.
Same point.
God, that was clever, yeah.
Well, that's what they all say. Okay, brilliant.
Right, well done. Nice bit of humour there as well, which is no harm.
Need to be quicker.
No, you don't need to be quicker. If you start talking really quicker, then the detail's not there, and I start to panic a bit as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just imagine, this is exactly the same as teaching a real learner.
Yeah.
If the real learner hears you panicking, they're not going to be very relaxed, are they?
That's true.
Yeah, if he's worried, I'm worried. Yeah. No, that was good. That was good. So it's very important to come in with the consequences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have the clutch too high. Once we've done one moving up and stopping, and you have given me the consequences, because you told me that it's important to get first gear, because if we don't get first gear, we're going to stall, yeah, or we possibly could stall. Because you told me that, I will probably get first gear, no problem, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah? If you'd never told me that, I would be really peeing you off by now, because
Yeah.
I'd be going to third
Yeah.
gear every
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
Even though you're saying pound the gear lever towards me
Yep.
and push it forward,
You still
I
could.
would still be going
Yeah.
into third because I haven't had the consequences, yeah?
Yep.
And you're probably thinking, why is he not doing as I tell him, yeah?
Yeah.
And what I said to you today is, if they're not doing something and you're banging on about it,
Mm-hmm.
it nearly always comes down to the fact that you didn't tell them how to do it properly
Yeah.
in the first place,
Yeah.
or you didn't tell them the reasons why, yeah?
Yeah.
It's the reasons why they've got to learn
Yeah.
from, it's the consequence, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
the earlier you get it right, the less they're going to play about with you.
Yeah.
So if you get it right in your first one, potentially, by get it right, give them all the information. They then haven't got a chance to play about with you. 'Cause you've
Yeah, it's
explained
not actually rocket science. If you know, it doesn't matter what subject we're learning today.
Yep.
What we're just trying to get you to into doing is
Educating.
taking the routines that I'm going to use all the way through my driving, like
Yep.
the POM routine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after today, any lesson that follows, you should be able to say to me, prepare the car as normal,
Yep.
and I should know what the POM routine is, yeah? Obviously, the mirror signal position speed look routine for coming back in is a routine that we're going to use all the way through my lessons, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a routine that I should be using for the rest of my life, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's a routine I will get used to.
Mm-hmm.
But on each different subject we're learning,
Yep.
although I may have used that routine before,
Mm-hmm.
I will need you to talk me through the different parts of the routine so I know that you know it.
Yep.
And then I'll be quite willing to take the bits of the routine that I have used before off here,
Yeah.
and say,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a month down the road, so we're not too worried about that at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite good. Yeah.
Mm.
Did I shoot across the road?
No.
No. Did I mount the curb?
No.
If you were driving your car, I probably would have done.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, it was nice and controlled. It
Okay.
was nice and controlled.
Yeah. Tony, one important question which I need to ask is, what is there a, say for example there's no parked cars and it's a straight road and we're,
Yeah.
he parks us in a nice easy stretch.
Well, she's going to be parking the car, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So is there a certain amount you should be doing if you've got a chance to go a bit further and explain it a bit slower? Is that a problem, or is it better just to do it within a certain amount of space and get it done a couple of times rather than
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
i.e. the first attempt?
you have to. You're talking about the stopping position, yeah?
Yeah, how quickly you should stop after you've moved off, basically.
Well, it's basically as soon as we moved off, you should be thinking about
Stopping you straight away.
the mirror signal position speed look
Yeah.
routine. We're coming back in,
Okay.
and don't forget you have to talk me through that routine. So that's going to take a bit of time.
Yeah.
We have to check the mirrors. You have to tell me why I'm checking the mirrors.
Yep.
We have to decide if the signals are going to be required.
Yep.
And then the control element is cover the brake, and then you're going to talk me through the steering on the way in, yeah?
Yep.
It's obviously the road they do it on, they want to try and, normally they would try and get 4 or 5 of these in,
Yep.
which is quite reasonable, or you might, 3 or 4 of them at the most, yeah. They certainly will be looking at getting more than 1 or 2 in.
Yeah. On that before you then have to.
Yeah. I mean, you're driving the car here, and they will say to you, just as you turn into the road, this will be a suitable road, yeah?
Yeah.
So there's 2 things you need to be thinking about is...
The earlier you do it, the better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's going to be a little bit peeved if you go halfway down the road and there was a half a mile of road
Yeah.
behind you could have stopped on, yeah?
Yep.
But it's also giving you that opportunity to get that control element in right from the beginning.
Yep.
Keep your hands in your lap, don't touch your fiddle, yeah? Don't take your seatbelt off, don't open the door, yeah?
Yep.
Because there is a possibility that they could play around with that.
Yep.
And a real student could play around with that, yeah?
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want a real learner taking a seatbelt off before you stop, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And you certainly don't want the bill for the broken window, yeah?
Nope.
So, let's just say that you weren't in the ideal position to start off with.
Yep.
I think she's probably going to move ahead of us there, so if I just get down the road a bit. And it's a situation that I have read about happening is that the exercise has started right from behind the parked car. I don't really know why. It's because if I was driving the car there, I'd make sure that
Yeah.
I just ignored them and went a little bit further. Yeah?
Mm. Okay.
So
Cool.
let's just get it into a position there, yeah?
Mhm.
So, you know, you could end up moving off from a position very similar to this. I'll just pull back from this driveway a bit. So obviously it's not any hard, you know, it's,
More than enough room.
yeah, there's plenty of room.
Mhm.
And if you stick to the same routine that you just used there,
Yeah.
there's no reason why I should have a problem getting around that
No,
car, yeah?
of course, yeah.
So if I just stick to the routine that you've been teaching me, keep your feet still,
Yep.
just tell me to steer towards me.
Steer towards you, Tony. That's enough. Steer towards me, Tony.
Keep your feet still.
Keep your feet still.
Get off my feet, get off the clutch now.
Yeah. Keep your feet still. Steer towards me, Tony.
That's enough.
That's enough. Keep your feet still. Straighten up, Tony. Keep your feet still.
Yeah. So you can see if you got around it all right, yeah?
Yeah.
It's
It's that keep your feet still is very important, isn't it?
yeah, the procedure that we use for moving off and stopping
Mhm.
should be no more difficult, even if you are behind a parked car, yeah?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
called an angle start, but it should be no more difficult because you know, we've got that control element there, haven't we?
Yep. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Cool.
Obviously, there is a possibility that for some reason something may go wrong on the road that wasn't there when you started.
It should be just my luck.
No, yeah, but the SD will deal with that, yeah?
Yeah.
He's not expecting you to sort out
Yeah.
the environment around you.
Mhm.
If something happens that, you know, the house has got up a fire and a fire engine turns up, the examiner will come out a roll. You know, he's not, yeah, they're not unfair. They know you,
Yeah.
you know, you haven't allowed for this, yeah? And they've actually picked the road in the first place anyway, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, they will come out a roll and they will get the car down the road.
Yeah.
Or if it has to be turned around, they will turn the car around at a roll because,
Yeah.
you know, they can't expect you to talk them through turning the car around
Yeah.
when
when
they-
doing
when it-
3 PSTs in one. Yeah.
when they haven't done moving up and stopping yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea of doing this PST today is to just give you the baseline of knowing where you're going to start each time, yeah?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so from the controls lesson, I would have gone, you know, knowing how to set myself up. You know, so when I get in the car after that, I should be able to reasonably set myself up. On this lesson, you may just have to
Yeah.
you know, prompt me slightly.
Yep.
I would also, at the end of this lesson, know the POM routine, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's really, really important. Because when we do, you know, when we come to do manoeuvres like turning the road and so forth, you won't have to talk me through the POM routine. You won't
Yeah.
have to say, set the gas, thickness of a pound
Yeah.
coin, bring the clutch up a centimetre at a time, that's enough. Another centimetre, that's enough, yeah?
Yep.
Because I would know what the POM routine is, yeah?
Yeah.
Saying that, when we do come to do manoeuvres, I may tease you a little bit and have the clutch a little bit too high,
Yeah.
yeah? And every time I've seen a manoeuvre carried out on a par 3, the examiners do a little bit of teasing, yeah?
Yep.
And all they do is just bring the clutch up a little bit too high, so the car's just pulling slightly.
Yep.
No panic.
Yep.
Just say, just move the clutch down, half the thickness of a pound coin or thickness of a pound coin. It's important we don't have the clutch too high, because when we let the handbrake down, the car's going to go shooting down the road.
Yeah.
Or it's going to go shooting
That's
back
all they
up the
want
road.
from
Yeah.
you, basically.
They will back off then, and I can pretty much guarantee you, with that
Alright, doing that
information,
again.
they won't tease you with that anymore, yeah?
Okay.
Alright?
Yep.
Yeah?
Mhm.
That makes sense?
Yep.
So, as you can see, that you got me to check the blind spot, yeah? And, you know, when I'm looking between a head restraint and a door pillar,
Yep.
this is what you should see, yeah?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
when I thought you looked, I could only see a bit of yours.
Yeah.
So it's important that I can see all of yours.
On the first one,
Yeah.
whenever we come to do a manoeuvre ending, always ask me what I can see,
Mhm.
yeah? But then don't keep harping back on that. If I can tell you I can see a white car parked in the drive over there, yeah?
Yep.
Well, then you know I've looked,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Because I can't lie about the white car.
Yep.
But don't keep harping on back about the white car all the time. We used to do that, but they may well come at a roll and just say to you, look, I promise you I am checking.
Yeah.
You know, I know the white car is there.
Yep.
But because you've given me the reasons why it's important to check, they will check, but they, let's say it's a turn in the road,
Yep.
they will want to try and get at least 2 of them in, yeah?
Yeah.
So if they're having to keep telling you, you know, has that lady got in the white car yet?
Yeah.
is the taxi expired yet? Then obviously that's going to prolong the process a bit,
Mm.
yeah? So once you've asked them on the first one what they can see, you can then back off, but just make sure that they're looking, yeah?
Yeah.
But you can see that they're looking,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
So if you see their head go around,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of trainers say he could have his eyes closed. I used to say it,
Yeah, but you'll never.
but they won't,
No.
yeah? They won't have their eyes closed.
Right.
Because you've covered your backside on the first one by telling them where to look, and it's a lot quicker to tell them on the very first one. It's between the head restraint and the door pillar.
Yep.
What can you see? Even if it's only a lamppost, then you know on the next one, they know that you know where they should be looking, so they probably will look in the right place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously you're watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you stop watching them, if you're asking me to look somewhere and you're looking at the window at
Yeah.
number 12 there,
Mhm.
I can promise you I won't look, yeah?
Yeah.
Because basically you're just not, you know, you're paying more attention to number 12 than you are to me.
Yep. That's
Any
true.
questions on that?
No, that's pretty much the same for all of them, isn't it? You've got to
Yeah.
keep looking at whether it's coming out of a junction or it's important that you're not looking at the junction, as you said. It's important you're looking at the SC.
Yeah, so when you go through the brief,
Yep.
you don't need to go through all the consequences because we are going to go through them on the move, yeah?
Yeah.
Is
Is there a problem if you did cover them in the brief and then cover them on the move?
Well,
I know it'd obviously eat up time, but would it be a major issue or?
well, what would be a major issue is that if the brief's getting too long, innit?
Yeah.
If the brief's getting too long, they may have to give you a push and say, and the lifeline's going to be, oh, should we go and do some practice then, yeah?
Yeah.
And
That's when
if,
you know you need to move. Yeah.
if it gets to that point, chuck your book in the back and get on with it, yeah? So what you need to do is you need to practice the brief and make sure that, you know, it's not too long.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, you're talking about the POM routine, you're talking about the mirror signal, position, speed, look routine.
Yep.
And even more important than the brief is that little consolidation at the end, yeah?
Yeah.
There'll be a couple of exercises that we do where you will need to consolidate, yeah?
Yep.
It's because we're basically using technical language, yeah?
Mhm.
Cover the brake, that's going to be pretty technical language.
Yep.
The steers, that's going to be technical language, yeah?
Yep.
So, you know, we need to...
That's more important than
yeah. I mean, don't forget, the detail is going to come when we're doing it anyway, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you tell me to select first gear, you're going to tell me how to select it by palming the gear lever towards you
Yep.
and push forward. And you're going to come in afterwards and say, it's important we get first gear, because if we don't, we could well stall, and we could be actually out on the road before the car stalls, and then if somebody did come, it's going to be embarrassing, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah?
Mhm.
And after that then, you know, because you've given me the consequence, and you've told me how to do it,
Yep.
then I would probably get that first gear quite easy, yeah?
Yep.
So it's just that detail, and set the gas thickness to a pound coin.
Mhm.
It's important you don't set the gas too high because we may go shooting down the road.
Yep.
Or the other consequence, nearly always two, the other consequence is that the person who lives in number 12 there is going to come out and start telling us to sod off elsewhere, yeah?
Yep.
You know, because nobody wants a revving engine outside the door.
Yep.
Right,
Okay.
we'll pause that for a minute. If I can find a button.